All right, man. YouTube. Yes, I am on Twitter. I'm on my other Twitter. This is my main Twitter. This is my other Twitter. Bro, I've recorded 3 videos in the span of, I don't know, probably like 25 minutes. But bro, we got some breaking news. But look at this right here. Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony well, not Cole Anthony. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Desmond Bane for KCP and Cole Anthony and 4 unprotected first round picks. Um, and 1 first round pick swap, according to Shams. Shams is the new Woj. I'm gonna be honest. Hold on. I'm gonna be honest. Um, hold on, y'all. You want Okay, look. So we're gonna get right into it. Now, how this is going to help both sides. So I'm gonna just speak on how it's gonna help both sides before I get to the hurt part. Is it a big loss for Memphis to lose? Okay, we're gonna start with the help. What Memphis is getting back, they're getting back somebody that can guard the perimeter. Last year they didn't have a a player that can guard. Yes, they had Jaren Jackson, but they didn't have a player that can guard like a KD, or Brown, or Luca, Shea, Curry. You didn't. They didn't have that. They had Marcus Smart, but they traded him, and he wasn't really active playing like that. Now you get KCP, who got championship experience, which they need. Veteran who knows his role. He he's a catch and shoot god. He's a catch and shoot guy. He can play make as well, which you're getting a lot with KCP. I'm not gonna lie. And he's taller and lengthier than Desmond Bane. Um, Now, health wise, I mean, Desmond Bane was probably more productive last year than KCP health wise, but you're getting a lot of experience with Desmond Bane. I mean with KCP as far as the leadership, the championship experience. You know, what I mean, he's gonna bring the grit and playing alongside Ja, and I think KCP will also put that battery in Jaren Jackson back defensively, and this just gives a voice in the locker room. Now, obviously, we kind of had Orlando doing big things, but they ran up against Boston. They ran up against Boston in the first round. Yeah, they ran up against Boston in the first round, and then it didn't go as planned. But yeah, it didn't go as planned. But this is how it's going to help Memphis. He's going to help them defensively, and he's going to help them with shooting as well. I'm not saying that they lacked shooting last year, but they for sure lacked consistency with shooting last year, and they didn't have a veteran on that team anymore. Everybody on that team was well, and they're still young, but they need that veteran presence in their locker room. Now, obviously, the Desmond Bain, he's been there since day one. You know, he's been there when Ja had the MVP year in 2022. He's been a part of that. He was expected to be a part of that core going forward with him, Ja, and Jaren. But unfortunately, Desmond Bain, I think this was a contract situation. I think Jaren Jackson was up. I think he got extended, but um, I think for them to pay Jaren Jackson, I think they had to give up Desmond Bane, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Desmond Bane, he was making a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. Let me see. I'm gonna type in. You know what? Why do that? I can just do this right here. Hold on. Let me go to. So as y'all can see, got that. So let's go to. I'm gonna just. I forget. We can just go to Google on my shit right now. Type in Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane. Yeah, contract. You see something? Where? So this is what he would. So this is what he would have made. So he 36 million. So next season he would have been making this right here. And I think with Jaren Jackson with his contract, because I think he's eligible for extension this summer, but I think he's been in like negotiations. He's been in negotiations. So let me just type in Jaren. This might. So Jaren Jackson is currently on a contract with the Memphis Grizzlies. His current deal, he signed this in 2021. It was a 4 year, 104. The final year of his contract on his valuable, he'll be earning this much. Now, let me ask y'all this question: do y'all think Jaren Jackson is worth more than Desmond Bane? Because you gotta think overall, Jaren Jackson is more valuable than Desmond Bane overall. Because Jaren Jackson, he's good offense, even though he's more, even though like defensively he's better, but Jaren Jackson gives you a lot on the defensive end, but he also can score. And in my opinion, yes, he hits too many threes, but he can make them. And I think with Jaren Jackson, he can bring you offense, defense, and rim protection when needed. Desmond Bain, Desmond Bain, he can't really get you nothing on the defensive end. He can only get you on the offensive. Offensively, he can get you. Offensively, he can get you something, but defensively, he that's where he lacks. And I think it makes sense to kind of like you let go of Desmond Bain, who was making more than Jaren Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, you were gonna have to make a decision. And I know there were rumors of them trading Ja, which would not help. And I seen Trey Young um was in a I seen they were trying to get Trey Young, bro. Trey Young and Ja can't play together, bro. That would have been horrible, in my opinion. That would have been a horrible backcourt because they both need the ball. And I'm gonna be honest, the reason why they traded Dez, Ja was seen out the plays. If y'all see the plays, bro, there were plays where Ja wasn't even in the rotation. I mean, he was in the rotation, but he wasn't a part of the play. Ja wasn't doing no more pick and rolls. Y'all remember this, bro? Ja wasn't doing no pick and rolls, bro. He wasn't doing no pick and rolls, bro. Bro, he wasn't doing no pick and rolls, bro. Hopefully, I don't get banned for this. Hold on. Hold on. Let me make sure. We go bookmarks. I don't want to get banned. So we're gonna go. Yeah. So look, Ja wasn't doing no more pick and rolls, and that's where Ja was active in pick and rolls. Ja was a guy that pick and rolls, and if y'all know this, Desmond Bain started doing pick and rolls instead of Ja. So Ja was off the ball a lot, and Ja was seen in the corner a lot, and that's one of the reasons why uh, Taylor Jenkins got fired was because Ja wasn't in the pick and rolls no more, and they were struggling, and then they were losing from that point on, going into the playoffs. And Ja showed some frustration during post game interviews, you know what I mean. So, I mean, he had mentioned like when he's standing in the corner, you know what I mean, like he can't do nothing. And this move was made was because of the frustrations of what the front office had towards Taylor Jenkins and the frustrations of like the plays as well. Cause you know what I mean? Yeah, cause Ja wasn't being Ja. Uh, yeah, like he wasn't in no pick and roll opportunities no more. Desmond Bane was doing a lot of pick and rolls with Zach Edey and Jaren. Ja wasn't doing that, and so I think you saw that going to the playoffs, and that's why they struggled um, those last few weeks of the season because they just like the chemistry wasn't there anymore. And I think it was a locker room issue. I think it was a locker room issue. I think with Josh showing that frustration, it probably rubbed Desmond Bane the wrong way. So you had to do something, and contracts were coming up, and Jaren Jackson hadn't gotten paid. I don't think he still hasn't gotten paid yet. And um, salary wise, it had to make sense. And keeping Desmond Bane long term didn't make sense to Memphis. So they had to do what's right. But overall, you have to keep Jaren Jackson because if you let Jaren Jackson walk, because I'm gonna be honest, Zach Edey really isn't. He's not there yet. He needs a few more years. Um, he got some of that experience in the playoffs, yes, but he needs a few more years. Um, yeah, he needs a few more years. Um, yeah, he just needs like a few more years. That's it. Um, yeah, he just needs a few more years. But again, I think the trade helps from both. Oh, and how this helps for Orlando. With Orlando, I think it helps because they get a third playmaker. Um, last year it was just Paulo. It was just Paulo and Franz, or it was Paulo. Paulo was cooking, but you can tell that Paulo needed help, and Franz is that help. Don't get me wrong, but I think they needed like some more playmaking. Orlando had a bunch of shooters, but they didn't have no playmaking, and specifically at the point guard position. Now with Desmond Bain, um, he had become more of a playmaker when Ja was out with those injuries and suspensions. Desmond Bain elevated into that playmaking guard, which he became, and he succeeded at it, and his averages went up every year since. I think last year he averaged like 23 last year. When they wasn't in the playoffs, I think he averaged like 23 when Ja was out with the shoulder, and you seen his playmaking and his scoring got better. And I think Orlando is was they were missing that playmaking because last year, like when Paulo was carrying, I think Paulo just needed help, and Cole Anthony showed up. Like Cole Anthony showed up. That's another piece that I didn't speak about. So Cole Anthony, I think he's an underrated. He's an underrated. Um, wait, what just happened? Yeah, so I think Cole Cole Anthony gives Memphis that backup point guard. Um, Cole Anthony gives them Cole Anthony gives them that Tyus Jones kind of vibe in return. When Ja goes out, you got Cole Anthony who Cole Anthony who can come in the game and go crazy for him. As a scorer as well. Now with Orlando getting Desmond Bain, you get that third option now. So like if like Paulo needs like a breather, Desmond Bain can kind of come in and pick up the slack. You know what I'm saying? For Paulo and Desmond Bain, he can play that point guard a little bit because they didn't have a point guard last year. And I still think that they need a point guard. Yes, they got Desmond Bain, but Desmond Bain is not a point guard. He's a two. They still need a point guard. I think maybe they go get like Alonzo Ball. I don't know. But Orlando did give up a lot of first round picks. I ain't gonna lie. So that's a lot of picks they gave up for Desmond Bane. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean, we gotta see what happens with it. But Desmond Bane ain't no, he's not a bad player at all. He's actually a really good player. But defensively, it didn't make sense for Memphis to keep Desmond Bane long term. Especially when you got Ja over there. Like you need Ja to be Ja. And if plays are getting ran for Desmond Bane and not Ja, it's like Desmond Bane is not your franchise player. Ja is. So why are you running plays for Desmond Bane and not Ja? It don't make sense. But salary wise, it made sense for Memphis to trade Desmond and keep Jaren Jackson. But hopefully y'all enjoy the video. As far as what this does for Memphis, now what hurts, the Memphis Grizzlies lose another option. When Jaren gets in foul trouble, I mean, who's gonna be that other player? Obviously Ja, but he's more of a pass first guard. He scores when he needs to, but he's really a pass first guard. I think it is like, where's that other offense gonna come from? Because if Jaren is in foul trouble, where's that other offense gonna come? Like who's gonna be that other guy? That's my only thing. Who's gonna be that other offensive threat? Like if Ja don't got it, and if Jaren's in foul trouble, who's gonna be that other offensive threat for him? It could be KCP. It could be Cole Anthony. Who knows? Um, Now, how this hurts on Orlando, I think Orlando loses a lethal shooter. Um, they lose that veteran leadership as well. That championship experience, they they do lose that with KCP going over there to Memphis. But I think this trade elevates both sides in a positive way. Um, both teams needed this. I think Memphis needed a perimeter player who can guard um, those top guys like Bron, Luca, and KD, and Shea and Curry. Even like the Ant Mans, what I mean, the Kyries. I think defensively this helps Memphis. It gives them another shooter as well, consistency. And then for Orlando, Orlando gets back a third option, another playmaker who can take um, that pressure off Apollo. You know what I mean? In moments, but I think both teams got better in their own way. But that's it, man. Hopefully, y'all enjoy the video, man. This is a long video. Hopefully, y'all enjoy the video, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe if you new, and I'm out this thing.